Once upon a time, in the heart of the jungle, there was an amazing school full of all different kinds of animals from around the world. It was called Jungle Academy. One day, it was time for roll call, and all of the students were standing up one by one saying, "Here." As Mr. Crocodile began to call the roll, he noticed that a few students weren't paying attention. They were busy chatting with their friends or doodling on their desks or even playing a game on their phones. But one student in particular caught his eye, Lazy Lion. Lazy Lion wasn't just dozing off or pretending to be listening. No, he had actually fallen fast asleep. His head was drooped over his desk and his mouth was wide open. Mr. Crocodile cleared his throat and said loudly, "Are you listening to me?" Lazy Lion startled awake and quickly tried to hide his sleepiness. He mumbled, "Yes, sir," but Mr. Crocodile wasn't convinced. "I want to see your homework from last night," he said suspiciously. Lazy Lion panicked. He had been so busy sleeping last night that he forgot to do his homework, and now if Mr. Crocodile found out, he would get into big trouble. Lazy Lion tried to think of an excuse, but before he could come up with anything, Mr. Crocodile had already moved on to the next student. Lazy Lion let out a sigh of relief, but he knew he couldn't slack off like this if he wanted to avoid getting caught. So he decided to try and focus on the lesson. Unfortunately, it was a long day, and Lazy Lion started to feel his eyelids getting heavy again. He tried his best to stay awake, but eventually, he started to fall asleep. Just then, Nerdy Owl raised his wing and said, "Mr. Crocodile, Lazy Lion looks like he's going back to sleep again." Mr. Crocodile sighed. He was very disappointed in Lazy Lion because he knew that the Lazy Lion was smart enough to do well in class if he tried. But Lazy Lion was always too lazy to put forth any effort. "All right, Lazy Lion, I'm gonna need you to stay after class today so we can talk." Lazy Lion nodded his head obediently, although he was secretly furious at Nerdy Owl for snitching on him. When class ended, Lazy Lion walked slowly to Mr. Crocodile's desk. "So, why are you failing your classes?" Mr. Crocodile asked. "Well, I don't know," said Lazy Lion. "It's just so hard to do all of the work. I'd rather sleep, but you have to do your homework," Mr. Crocodile replied. "Otherwise you won't learn anything." "Okay, said Lazy Lion, rolling his eyes. "What do you want me to do?" Before Mr. Crocodile could reply, a voice shouted, "Hey, Lazy Lion, why don't you come play with us?" It was Mischievous Monkey. He was the class clown and always got into trouble for making people laugh when they were supposed to be paying attention. "Nah, I'm good," said Lazy Lion. "Thanks for the invite, though," but Mischievous Monkey insisted, and soon Lazy Lion found himself hanging upside down from a tree branch with the rest of the class clowns. The group consisted of Giggles the hyena, Stinky the skunk, and Crazy Legs the gibbon. They swung around and made funny faces until Lazy Lion started to feel a little bit better. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the trees. They all turned to see what had happened and saw Nerdy Owl lying on the ground with a bloody nose. "Oh, no!" cried Mischievous Monkey. "He must have fallen out of his tree." The other animals started to giggle, but Lazy Lion didn't find it very funny. He had seen how hard Nerdy Owl studied to get good grades, and he didn't want to see him hurt. "We should go check on him," said Lazy Lion, but the others thought it was hilarious. "Oh, come on, Lazy Lion," said Giggles the hyena. "Don't be such a buzzkill. Let's go find him some aloe for his boo-boos." They all burst out laughing again, but this time Lazy Lion didn't join in. He knew he had to do something nice for Nerdy Owl, so he broke away from the group and went to look for him. Lazy Lion found Nerdy Owl sitting on a nearby branch, holding a pack of jungle juice to his nose. "Are you okay?" asked Lazy Lion. "Yeah, I'm fine," said Nerdy Owl, sighing. "I guess I wasn't paying attention and I fell out of my tree. These things happen." Lazy Lion sat down next to him and said, "I'm sorry I didn't come to help you. Those stupid class clowns." "It's all right," said Nerdy Owl, "but thanks for sticking up for me." You didn't have to do that. I know, but I wanted to do something nice for once, said Lazy Lion. Well, thank you, said Nerdy Owl. Being friends with someone like you is really refreshing. Lazy Lion blushed and looked away. He didn't know what to say. Well, I gotta go now, he said. See you later. Lazy Lion went back to the others and hung out with them for a while longer. They played games and told jokes until it was time to go home. On the way, they passed by Nerdy Owl's house. Hey, let's throw some rotten fruit at his house, said Giggles the hyena. No, said Lazy Lion. I'll be right back. He walked inside and grabbed 5 ripe mangoes from the fruit bowl. Then he went back outside and threw the mangoes at Nerdy Owl's house. Stop, said Nerdy Owl. What are you doing? Sorry, said Lazy Lion. I just wanted to make up for earlier. I hope you can forgive me. Of course I can forgive you, said Nerdy Owl. And besides, I could use some fresh fruit. Lazy Lion smiled. He was glad that Nerdy Owl had forgiven him. As they walked away, Lazy Lion realized that being lazy wasn't always the best way to go. Helping others felt good, even if it meant doing extra work. Plus, now he had some extra homework to take home. Lazy Lion yawned widely and thought about how comfortable his bed was. But then he remembered what Mr. Crocodile had said about doing his homework. So he shook his head and started walking in the direction of his house. On the way, he stopped by the library to grab some books about lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! When he got home, his mother wasn't there to greet him, but she had left a note on the kitchen table that said she had to go visit his father in the hospital. Lazy Lion felt bad. His father had been sick for a long time, and he hadn't come to visit him in a while. Maybe he could finish his homework tomorrow, he thought. He poured some milk and ate some cereal for dinner, and then headed to his room to get started on his homework. He pulled out his books and started reading, but his eyelids started drooping lower and lower. He tried his hardest not to fall asleep, but eventually, he started to nod off. Lazy Lion woke up the next morning and checked the clock. It was 8 o'clock, and he had to be at school in 1 hour. He jumped out of bed and started to get ready. When he arrived at school, he ran to Mr. Crocodile's classroom and burst through the door. Mr. Crocodile, I finished my homework, he said proudly. Mr. Crocodile smiled and said, That's great news. Lazy Lion, let's see what you got. Lazy Lion handed in his homework, but Mr. Crocodile frowned when he saw it. Lazy Lion, this isn't your homework, it's Nerdy Owl's. Lazy Lion's face turned red. He had accidentally turned in the wrong assignment. Just then, Nerdy Owl came into the classroom. Hey, Lazy Lion, did you turn in my homework for me? He asked. Lazy Lion shook his head. No, I'm so sorry, Nerdy Owl. I don't know what happened. I got confused and turned in the wrong thing. It's alright, said Nerdy Owl. It happens to the best of us. I stayed up till late reading a book last night and I fell asleep early this morning. Mr. Crocodile was shocked. This was the first time he'd heard Nerdy Owl admit to being lazy. Oh, I'm sorry, Nerdy Owl, but you still have to do your homework. I know, said Nerdy Owl. I'm sorry. I won't let it happen again. Lazy Lion felt bad for Nerdy Owl. He knew how much pressure he felt to get good grades. But sometimes being smart meant working hard, too. After class, Lazy Lion went to see Nerdy Owl. Hey, Nerdy Owl, do you want me to help you with your homework sometime? He asked. Nerdy Owl smiled. Sure, Lazy Lion, that would be great. Thanks, Lazy Lion nodded. He knew he couldn't be lazy all the time, not if he wanted to be a good friend. The end. What did you think about the story? If animals went to class, the hilarious homework struggles of a lazy lion. Tell us in the comments below. Please share this video with your friends. We'll see you next time. Bye.